A long time ago, in a small African village surrounded by golden grasslands and rolling hills, there stood a giant baobab tree. This tree was not like any other tree in the forest. It was said to hold the wisdom of the ancestors. The villagers believed that if you sat under its shade with a pure heart, you could hear whispers of guidance carried by the wind. Children loved to play around the tree, and elders gathered there in the evenings to share stories, songs, and lessons about life. In this village lived a young boy named Kofi. He was curious, brave, but also a little impatient. He often asked many questions. Why does the sun rise and set? Why do people argue? Why do we have to share when we want things for ourselves? His mother would smile and say, "One day, the baobab tree will answer you." One morning, the chief of the village announced that a great drought was coming. The river had started to dry, the grass was turning brown, and the animals were leaving. Everyone was worried. The elders gathered under the baobab tree, but no clear answer came. People began to argue about what to do. Some wanted to move, others wanted to stay. Kofi, determined to help, went to the baobab tree alone at night. He sat under its thick branches and whispered, "Great tree, tell me how to save my people." For a long time, there was silence. Then, as the moonlight touched the tree, Kofi heard a soft voice like the wind. "Wisdom lives not in one person but in all. Bring your people together. Share what each knows, and you will find the way." The next day, Kofi told the chief and the villagers what he had heard. At first, they laughed, but the chief, being wise, said, "Let us try." So the villagers gathered. The hunters shared where they saw animals moving. The farmers spoke of hidden wells. The women shared how to store food and water. Piece by piece, their knowledge came together like woven cloth. With everyone's wisdom joined, they dug new wells, rationed food, and followed the paths of animals to find water. Slowly, the village survived the drought. When the rains finally returned, the people celebrated with dancing, drumming, and singing under the baobab tree. From that day, the villagers learned an important truth. No one holds all wisdom, but when people unite, they can overcome anything. And young Kofi grew up to be a great leader, always reminding his people of the lesson whispered by the baobab tree of wisdom. Sparkle's moral of the tale: true wisdom comes from unity, sharing, and listening to one another. Would you like me to expand this story into a longer version, about 1,000 to 1,500 words, for a YouTube narration style, or keep it short and powerful like this for storytelling? You said, "Make it easy to understand." ChatGPT said, "Got it, thumbs up sign. I'll make the story very easy, simple, and clear so anyone, children or adults, can enjoy and understand it without difficulty." The Baobab Tree of Wisdom. A long time ago, in an African village, there was a very big tree called the baobab tree. The people believed it was special because it carried the wisdom of their ancestors. If someone sat under its shade with a clean heart, the tree would whisper advice through the wind. In this village lived a young boy named Kofi. Kofi was curious. He always asked many questions. Why does the sun rise and set? Why do people fight? Why must we share when we want something for ourselves? His mother would smile and say, "One day, the baobab tree will answer you." One year, there was no rain. The river became dry, the grass turned yellow, and animals left the land. The chief told the people, "A great drought has come." The villagers were afraid. Some wanted to leave, others wanted to stay, and they argued every day. Kofi wanted to help. One night, he went to the baobab tree alone. He sat under the tree and whispered, "Great tree, please help us. Tell me how I can save my people." At first, there was only silence. But when the moonlight touched the tree, Kofi heard a soft voice in the wind. It said, "Wisdom does not live in one person. Bring your people together. Share what each person knows, and you will find the way." The next morning, Kofi told the chief and the villagers what he had heard. Some laughed at him, but the chief said, "Let us try." Everyone came together. The hunters told where they saw animals going. The farmers spoke of hidden wells. The women explained how to save food and water. When they shared their knowledge, a plan was made. The villagers dug new wells, stored food carefully, and followed animal tracks to find water. Slowly, the people survived the drought. When the rain finally came back, they celebrated with singing, dancing, and drumming under the baobab tree. From that day, they remembered the lesson. No one has all the wisdom, but when people work together and share ideas, they can overcome any problem. And young Kofi grew up to be a wise leader who always reminded his people of the tree's lesson.